students entering the gymnasium for an assembly at L'Anse Creuse Middle School Center. The air is filled with the normal noise of 700 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. But soon, silence. You can hear a pin drop as Dennis Leggio shares his story.
We sat there and we ate in silence, and when we were done, my mom and my grandma sat my brother and I down, and they told us that the police had called very early that morning, that they had found our dad, and that he was gone.
Dennis was only 14 when his dad died by suicide. His last words to his father were said in anger.
I ran out the front door and I screamed, "I hate you and I never want to see you again." That was the last thing I said to him. I blamed myself for many, many years. And it didn't matter how many people told me, "It's not your fault, it's not your fault." That's what I felt, that's what I believed.
Dennis tells the students years of guilt took a toll. He became hopeless, suicidal.
I turned to drugs and alcohol because I didn't want to feel any of this stuff. I didn't want to deal with any of it. To me, it made more sense to be numb than to be in pain all the time. And people will say, people that have not been affected by it or have been or whatever, it's such a selfish act. When the fact is that when you're in that tunnel, you think you're doing everybody a favor. So it's not. It seems that way, but it's not. And suicide is not about death. It's about wanting to be out of pain. So goodbye, somehow I hope that you can hear this song.
His first step out of that pain came through music. One day, he pulled out his guitar and wrote a song that he says saved his life.
Time won't cover up the wounds when you lose someone you love. The song is called No Resolve, and it's all of the questions that I struggled with, the feelings that I struggled with after his loss. Did you take a minute to stop and think how we would deal with it? All of the things that didn't make sense. And to some degree, a lot of it probably will never make sense. If I told you I loved you and I need you here, would you still be alive? There is no resolve to a lot of those questions. There'll be no answers to these questions. Got to carry on and try to live.
That song was his inspiration for starting the nonprofit No Resolve, formed to raise awareness about youth depression and suicide, the third leading cause of death for teenagers. Dennis knows there are children in this room who need to hear what he has to say.
Because nobody talks about these things, we keep it a secret because we don't want people to know we're struggling. And I wanted to make a difference. I was tired of not talking about it.
So now Dennis does talk to middle and high school students, asking them to speak up.
And right now, I'm going to ask you to have some guts. I'm asking for one person who's struggling right now that's willing to come up here and share your story with us.
On this day, it's a quiet young man named Cody. Courageously, he stands up before the entire school and talks about loss, about feeling alone. But then, a call to action, a call for kindness.
So if you have compassion for Cody, and you want to show him some kindness and support, I ask you to come up here and give him a hug.
The quiet Cody, who could barely be heard, transforms before our eyes and leaves this day all smiles.
One person has the power to make a ripple in a pond, and where it goes beyond that, we'll probably never know. So today, Cody was that ripple. And that reached the whole school.
Dennis's message, life is hard, everybody hurts. It's okay to ask for help.
Stand up, reach out to someone, ask for help. And I know that it's not realistic to say that we can prevent every single suicide, but we can prevent a lot.
Dennis is finding healing through helping. He says he wouldn't change a thing about his past, but if he could go back in time and talk to 14-year-old Dennis, he would simply say this.
I would tell him, you're gonna be okay someday. So goodbye, I can't believe you're gone. So goodbye, somehow I hope that you can hear this song.